Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico with the Creativity Cave, and welcome to another edition of Simple to Stunning Sundays. I'm always so happy to be stamping with you today. I have some great projects featuring the Beautiful Autumn stamp set, or actually bundle, and this is one of my favorites from the holiday catalog. You can see lots more inspiration with this in my Gilded Autumn online class. There are so many amazing projects with that class. You will not want to miss it. And I'll put the link for registration information in the description of this video for you. But let's make some really awesome cards with this. My simple card is truly simple. I'm going to start with a half sheet of Crumb Cake cardstock and give this a nice crease with my bone folder. And then I'm going to take some scraps, and I have kind of a pretty color combination for this. I've got Crumb Cake, Cajun, Craze, Misty, Moonlight, and just Jade, and my Crumb Cake labels kind of faded in over the years, so it looks a little bit weird, but it still works like a champ. So I've got my piece of cardstock here, and I'm going to start with stamping my leaves on a scrap. I've got Just Jade, Misty, Moonlight, and Cajun Craze scraps. And I literally was just looking for my ink pads. They're right here. That's just kind of how it goes. So let me open these up. I really love this color combination. It's perfect for fall, and it's a nice, simple color combo. I want to make sure I start out with a clean stamp. So let me clean that off on my chamois. I'm going to just stamp this on my scrap paper in the coordinating ink as the cardstock. So we'll clean between each of these. There's Just Jade, and finally some Misty, Moonlight. Now I've got my punch from the punch pack that coordinates with this bundle, or comes with the bundle, I should say. And I'm just going to punch each of these out. And in case you're wondering where that punch went, it's in my boobs. That is so what happens with these punches. They end up sticking to places. I'm just saying. All right, and now that we've got that, I'm going to just arrange these onto my cardstock panel and then add my sentiment. So whenever I add something like this to a card, I just like to arrange things to make sure I like the look of them before I commit fully to the placement. And so I'm just going to kind of have them in a different little order. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment in some early espresso because I think that'll look nice with this color combo. And I wanted it to be a little darker than Crumb Cake, which of course is my cardstock color. The placement looks good, so I'll take a glue dot and adhere each of these down like so. And this is just such a nice, simple card, and it is so perfect for this time of year. There's lots of different sentiments in the stamp set that you could use, whether you need a thank you card or something else. So I really like that. I'm also going to take a little bit of my linen thread and just tie a real small bow to embellish this card with. So just tie that cute little bow, and we'll give that a trim with my snips here, and then I'll adhere this with a glue dot. Now, one little piece of advice: if their ends aren't curling the way you want to, just roll your thumbnail across, and they tend to kind of go a little nicer after that. I rolled up a glue dot into a little log, and I'll just place my bow right into that. And then I'm going to add it right here to my leaf. And isn't that just a nice little touch? Nothing too fancy. And finally, we'll just take and adhere this to our card base. Oh, I'm almost out of my seal. Okay, so a very simple but very nice card. Now, let's kick it up a notch because that's what we're all about here at Simple to Stunning Sundays. Our next card is going to be very similar, but we're going to add a few layers to this. So first, and we're going to add a little bit more texture. So first, I'll fold my card in half like I always do. And then I've got my 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of crumb cake. I'm going to take one of my decorative masks and place this over the top of my cardstock. And then you can use a sponge or whatever works best for you. I'm going to use a makeup. I've got an oval makeup brush. This is one of the smaller ones. I tend to like the larger size like this. I just found these on Amazon. If you Google or search for oval makeup brushes, I'm going to use this to blend. And any brand will work just fine. There's really no right or wrong. So I don't want to go all the way out to the edges, but I'm going to put my ink down here. You want to make sure you hold it in place. If you can't hold it in place, definitely tack it down with some washi tape or something like that. Even a Post-it would work. And then I'm just going to blend that ink on here. And like I said, I'm not going quite all the way out to the edges. Okay, and when I remove it, that is the look that I get, and I love it. All right, so I'm going to set that aside for a moment because the next thing that I want to do is arrange my leaves. Now, before I started my video, I did stamp and punch out a few more leaves so that you didn't have to watch that whole process again. But this time I'm going to place them on a smaller panel of cardstock. This is 2 1/4 by 3 1/2 inches. And again, I'm just going to arrange them, leaving a little room at the bottom so that I can add my sentiment. And we'll take and glue dot these again. And oh, so pretty. Of course, you can probably see I've got a layer of early espresso cardstock that I'm going to adhere this to when I'm done. And that will really bring out everything. Okay, so I'll take, and I'm sure I will run out of this pretty soon, but that's okay, I've got more. Okay, so I'll just put that layer on. So that's going to be 2 3/8 by 3 5/8 in early espresso ink. And then I want to pop this layer up onto my card. I will also stamp a little different sentiment. In this case, the thank you wouldn't fit quite right on my card because of this panel, so I'm going to switch to one of the skinny sentiments that comes along in this stamp set, which is have a beautiful day. There's a couple other options that you could use, or obviously you could go to a different stamp set. Okay, so that looks really good. Now I cut about a 1/4 inch scrap, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on here. Here we go. I was going to say just as soon as I find it. So likewise, I'll stamp it in early espresso. I'll just stamp it on there like so. Have a beautiful day. Perfect. And then I'll take my pick a banner punch. And I'm just going to punch the end of that little strip to be a banner end. And I think I might need to go, a little tighter on this side. But this looks wonderful. And we'll just adhere this right onto our panel. So we just basically added the panel. Rather than the card base, we did our blending with the decorative mask, and then we changed up our sentiment slightly. Of course, I'll take all of this and adhere it to my card base like so. And I think that looks fantastic. Oh, but we're gonna make sure we put our little bow on here again because I think that'll look nice. Okay. So this is a very nice stepped up version. Gotta make, ooh, that's a really small bow. I think that might be a little too small. Don't say I can't tie a tiny bow. That is still pretty small. Okay, so we'll trim those ends off, and then once again I'll roll up my glue dot so that I can adhere this, oops, to the leaf, like so. Oh, so cute. All right, for my stunning version, we're really gonna go all out. First, I'm going to use a early espresso card base instead of a crumb cake card base. I could even put a layer of crumb cake on the inside, just like I had on the outside of these. And maybe I will take and do just a little of my stencil or my decorative mask. That's what we call them. And just put maybe a little right here in the corner, like so. And then that just adds a nice little touch for the inside of my card. Ooh, I really like that. And then I will take and adhere this, and I finally did run out. Okay. Let's see, effect. Let's seal plus. Okay, sorry, I found my seal refill, and it's so easy to put together. All I do is, first of all, I like to clear out if there's any little goobers of adhesive on the corners, and usually there's just maybe a touch that I pull out, and then I just set this in to line up with the little pegs that are in there, and that's it. So simple. Okay, so this is going to go on the inside of our card, like so. And then for the outside of our card with this, I've got my panel once again. So we'll adhere those leaves. Oh, I just love this look. And I really like these colors. It's kind of a little bit different, but not too off the wall. You know, sometimes I like to go a little crazy with color, but this still is pretty calm. So we'll put those down. And now that I've kind of got the hang of making this card a few times, I don't need to lay them out every time. Oh, but I want this one upside down because I'm going to put the bow back on. There we go. We'll adhere that to our panel of early espresso. And then I have gone ahead and done the sponging already on here to get that background. And then I've cut 3/4 inch strips of each of the colors that I'm using, and I'm going to place them onto my card like so. And you can either butt them right up against one another, or you can leave a little space in between. I kind of like them butted right up against one another. So I'll go ahead and adhere those like so. And we'll just put those across, and then we'll trim the ends off. Actually, I guess I could put them on like that. And what was really wonderful is these were leftover pieces that I had laying around, and I love getting rid of my leftovers. There's just something wonderful about that. So I'll trim these down. There we go. And then we're going to take and pop this panel up over the top, just as we did before. Oh, I think this makes a wonderful masculine card, by the way. This would be a great birthday or anniversary card for a man in your life. Okay, and we'll set that again right like we have. And once again, I'll take and stamp my sentiment on here. Again, you could switch things up and use something else from the stamp set. There's actually several to choose from. But I just love putting it on this skinny strip of cardstock. And we'll take and punch the ends because that looks so nice and polished. There we go. And finally, I'll put that on here like that. And you know, now if you're using this card for a man, I wouldn't do this next step, the next two steps, but if you're using this card for not a man, you can. So I'm going to add that little bow again, but then I'm also going to add some spritz because, you know, that's what this card needs. Now, if you're doing it for a man, you could do just some early espresso spritz, but if you're doing it for a woman, you can add some shimmer spritz. So we're going to do both for this card just so you can see what it looks like. So I'll do my spritz and then I'll do my shimmer. So there's my bow again, because I love the look of that. And then I've got my marker. And we'll give this, my marker's kind of dead. Ooh, this might be tricky. Let's see if I have another one. Ooh, I do. Oh, there we go. So I did a little bit of spritzing on here, not too much. And then I want to add some shimmer spritz. So I'm just going to smack this down, and I'm going to move these ink pads because I don't want to get the shimmer in there. But we'll just kind of smack this against here. And then we've got some shimmer spritz as well. And you can see that on there. Oh, so pretty. So let me show you my 3 cards. And of course, as always, I love hearing which ones are your favorite. So we've got our simple, our stepped up, and our stunning. So let me know which ones you like best. And of course, if you need to purchase any of the supplies I used today, they're all linked in the description of this video, along with that awesome online class I mentioned. And that class really is awesome. I do not recommend you skip life without taking it because it's pretty great. Thank you guys so much for stamping with me today. I always appreciate your business, and please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel right here so you don't miss any of these awesome videos in the future. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.